Why does it feel like everyone grew up with a little money instructions manual slipped into their school bag? It wasn't official, nobody printed it, but somehow everyone learned the same rules anyway. You'd hear them from teachers, from relatives at family dinners, from anyone older who thought they were helping. Work hard and the money will follow. Save everything and you'll be secure. Avoid debt at all costs. College guarantees success. And because these lines were repeated so often, the manual started to feel real, like it came bundled with life itself. But here's the part no one noticed. The manual never updated. Not when prices changed, not when education changed, not when the job market changed, not when the world changed. So now we have millions of people carrying around a set of instructions written for an economy that doesn't even exist anymore, and wondering why the results never match the promises. Because somewhere along the line, the financial truths we grew up believing stopped being truths. Some of them weren't even true in the first place. And that's the real problem. When you grow up hearing the same rules over and over, you don't question them. You just assume they're the way the world works. But once you step into adulthood, you realize something uncomfortable. Those old rules weren't built for you. They were built for a completely different time, a different economy, and a different set of opportunities. So what were the biggest financial lies we heard as kids? Let's find out. Save your money, kids. That's all you need to do. You remember that, don't you? Back then, this made sense. Savings accounts actually grew your money. Interest rates were real, and simply holding onto cash could build stability. But if you tried the same thing today, the only thing that would happen is your money losing the little value it has left. Inflation eats it quietly in the background. So the truth is now simple. You save to survive, but to grow, you must invest. It was drilled into us to avoid debt at all costs. To older generations, debt was dangerous because they watched friends or family get crushed by it without tools or education. And with today's interest rates and cost of living, it feels even more true. Now, here's a hot take. Debt is bad for you. But not all debt. Some forms of debt, used intentionally of course, can actually strengthen your financial life. Debt isn't a monster under the bed, it's a tool. When mishandled, it destroys. Used correctly, it accelerates everything. Then there was the big one. College guarantees success. That might have been true decades ago, when tuition was lower, degrees were rare, and employers were racing to hire graduates. But now, degrees are everywhere. Tuition exploded, and many careers don't require the old school path anymore. What matters today is skills, not just the piece of paper. College can be valuable, but it's no longer a universal golden ticket. You can't just walk into an office and flash a degree expecting a guaranteed job anymore. We also grew up hearing that if you just work hard, the money will follow. And yes, hard work matters, but it's no longer the deciding factor. In today's world, effort alone doesn't automatically create financial security. Strategy, opportunity, leverage, and visibility matter just as much, sometimes more. Hard work opens the door, but smart work determines what's actually behind it and how much you can grow from it. I think many of us grew up believing we'd own a big home in our 20s, parents telling you to buy the biggest house you can afford. And in the past, for sure, homes were affordable, predictable, and easily the safest investment people knew. But now, bigger homes come with bigger mortgages, bigger expenses, and bigger risks. A house is still a smart decision, but only when it fits your life, not someone else's. And of course, we were told that you need a lot of money to start investing. That was true once, when investing required brokers, minimum balances, and stacks of paperwork. But today, you can start with the spare change in your pocket. Fractional shares, micro-investing, and beginner-friendly platforms have destroyed the old barriers. The amount matters far less than the time you give it to grow. And strangely, a lot of people still haven't realized that. That now it's not amount over time, but the opposite. And the best for last in this enduring tale. Ahem. A stable job is the key to financial security. Let's exclude the random layoffs in the hundreds that are nightmare fuel to most people. The main problem is that idea came from a time when people worked the same job for 30 years and retired with a pension. But that world is gone. Jobs shift. Industries evolve. Trusting a company to keep you stable is a bomb waiting to explode. Security now comes from skills, adaptability, and having options. One income stream is fragile. Multiple is freedom. And here's the thing. None of these lies came from nowhere. They made sense at the time. The world used to be cheaper. Wages used to stretch further. Jobs were stable for decades. College actually guaranteed opportunity. Debt was harder to understand. And investing? Basically locked behind brokers and big money. So our parents and teachers weren't trying to mislead us. They just passed down the rules that worked for them. Even though the world we're living in now looks nothing like the one they grew up in. So if the old rules don't work anymore, what actually does? Today, money follows a different set of principles. Save for stability. Invest for growth. Use debt intentionally, not fearfully. Build skills, not just resumes. Work hard, but think strategically. Buy a home that fits your life, not your ego. Start investing early. Time matters more than amount. And never rely on one income stream for security. These aren't hacks. They're the new foundations of financial freedom. It's that money instructions manual, but for the modern day. The world changed. The rules changed. And now your understanding has too. So the next time someone repeats one of those classic money truths, remember, they're reading from a manual that hasn't been updated in decades. You're operating in the real world, with real rules, real choices, and a far better plan.